Welcome to daily discussion on current affairs. The first topic is on significance of ITI in India. The article discusses the focus on enhancing industrial training institute in India, as highlighted by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in recent budget. She put employment and skilling second on our list of 9 budget priorities, just after agriculture. The article address issues like outdated courses and poor placement rates, while noting improvement and initiative in some states to boost the ITI's industrial training institute's effectiveness and job placement for the graduates. Because after graduation, normally after the 10th class, students get enrolled in the ITI and they get some vocational training, and that helps them in getting employment and participating in the production process. Skill development capacity. ITI provides critical skill to a large number of students with around 14,993 government ITIs and 2.5 million available seats as of 2021-22. Improving enrollment. Enrollment has been increasing from 9,46,000 in 2014 to 1.24 million in 2022, showing growing demand and relevance of the ITI or technical courses or the professional courses. Curriculum relevance. New course on emerging technology like electric vehicles align ITI with modern industry needs, ensuring graduates are industry ready. So those who pass up the ITI, they get some placement or work in the industry. Okay. So strategic importance. Established to meet post-independence industrial needs, the ITI are pivotal as India approaches 100 years of independence, aiming to create a skilled workforce for a developed economy by 2047. Despite their pivotal role, ITI struggle with several issues. Skilled trainers. There is a shortage of skilled trainers across the states. Resource crunch. Many institutes lack the necessary resources. Outdated curriculum. The course often do not meet current industry requirement like the electrician, fitter, welder. These are the traditional courses. Poor equipment lab. Many labs are not adequately equipped. Ineffective placement method. There is a need for better placement strategy as suggested by a parliamentary committee which called for mandatory reporting on graduate employment status. So placement record being poor, so students are not very much sure for this ATI normally. So the demand is more in the rural area than in the urban area. So success story from ITI. Delhi placement rate. Delhi's ITI achieved a 72.3% placement rate in the last academic year, with some institute reaching as high as 94 to 97%. Tamil Nadu improvement. Tamil Nadu saw an increase in a placement rate to 80% 2023, up from 77.4% the previous year. International opportunity. Maharashtra ITI students secured job overseas in countries like Germany, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Israel. Germany recruited 4,000 professionals from the Kerala Institute, including the ITIs. This is what right now the ITI students are getting placement in foreign countries and encouragement to them. Okay, corporate collaboration. Hyundai announced new job opportunity for ITI students across 9 states. The Telangana government partnered with the Tata Technology to upgrade 65 ITI into Center of Excellence. Innovative forces. ITI Shikohabad in Uttar Pradesh introduced new course electric vehicles adapting to the recent need of the industries. Enhance placement method. Set up effective placement cells and make employment data reporting mandatory as suggested by the parliamentary committee. Adopt Niti Ayog's recommendation. Implement a 7-pronged strategy including setting up a central board for vocational education, education recognition to overall the ITI ecosystem. Learn from success stories. Emulate success model from Delhi's 72.3% placement rate and Tamil Nadu's 80% rate. Update curriculum. Align courses with industry requirements, focusing on area like data analysis and artificial intelligence. Promote collaboration. Encourage partnership like Hyundai job opportunity and Tata Technology for upgrading the ITI. Then they will be equipped with the modern requirement. So impact, the next is the new impact of new arbitration guideline. The government introduced the new guidelines for arbitration and mediation in public procurement contracts. Although the guidelines promote mediation, they indicate a move away from using arbitration in government projects. The 2015 amendment aimed to make India a top international arbitration center by reducing court delays. However, the recent shift away from arbitration seems to reverse this progress. What are the problem with arbitration? Speed of resolution. The recent reversal of reform comes from various worries that cases are being resolved too quickly. Quality of arbitrators. The perception that poor quality or corrupt arbitrators are to blame misses the true issues. The real issue are inadequate legal representation and flawed case fact rather than the arbitrators themselves. What will be the impact of these new guidelines? Business ecosystem, it will negatively impact private litigants, India's ease of doing business ranking and foreign direct investment. Legal system, it will add pressure to already overloaded courts, causing delay, increased court interference and lengthier appeals. The government will often be involved in disputes. Cases are likely to reach the Supreme Court frequently. Shift to foreign arbitration. Large domestic company will choose foreign arbitration, leaving only smaller dispute to be handled in India, because the multinational company will definitely look at the arbitration from into multinational firms. So this will affect the possibility. Okay, so they will be rather dealing for the foreign arbitration firms. What are the likely positive outcomes? Increased commercial litigation. This shift will foster strong legal principle in damage, intermediate indemnities, discovery and trial practices, expand India's law on damages and encourage innovative use of the tort law. Demand for skilled trial lawyers. There will be need for lawyers skilled in litigation, damage and cross-examination, which will enhance the overall legal system, because that is the practice in the Western countries. And once that is in India, so the cultural norms, it will definitely bring changes in the system. What should be the way forward addressing arbitration issue? The real issue with arbitration should be addressed by improving legal representation and the case details rather than blaming the arbitrators. Enhancing training and accreditation can resolve these problems without abandoning arbitration. Commercial courts, substantial investment and a commitment to improving commercial code could be made for a successful transition. Challenges in adopting global pandemic agreement, intellectual property protections, holding by also. Next is the global pandemic agreement. What is intellectual property protection? Holding by all the nations, export restrictions and manufacturing limits worsen vaccine inequality during COVID-19. Because that is a big need, but this country law control this. Despite 2 years of negotiation, 194 WHO member states failed to finalize the pandemic agreement, which was designed to enhance pandemic preparedness and address inequalities revealed by the COVID-19. Recently, the 77th World Health Assembly, which was held in May to June 1st, 2024, took place in Geneva, where two significant advancements where global health governance were made. Part of this amendment to the International Health Regulation, the Assembly approved amendment to the 2005 International Health Regulation, which changes aim to boost preparedness of health emergencies, add a new pandemic emergency category, ensure fair access to health products, supporting developing country, and establish a national health authority for improved coordination. Completion of WHO pandemic agreement, the mandate of the intergovernmental negotiation body for the pandemic treaty was extended, requiring the WHO pandemic agreement to be finished quickly. Challenges in adopting the pandemic agreement, pathogen access and benefit sharing. The proposal aims to address inequality in treatment access and vaccine distribution by requiring manufacturers to donate a portion of their products to WHO for global distribution. However, the disagreement on donation percentage, with the low and middle income country pushing for at least 20% and high income country not agreeing to it. So low income country demand that 20% of the vaccines produced would be given to WHO for distribution to the poor country free. Okay. So then challenges in adopting the pandemic agreement. So pathogen access and benefit sharing. The proposal aims to address inequalities in treatment access and vaccine distribution by requiring manufacturers to donate a portion of the vaccine and the poor country 120%. Technology transfer and intellectual property, disagreements over production governance, technology transfer and intellectual property rights, particularly around TRIPS flexibility and the peace clause, have stalled negotiation because the TRIPS agreement on public health allowed the poor country to give compulsory licensing to the patented drug for health emergency, and the peace clause allows that some relaxation to the country which violate it. One Health approach. This approach, which integrates human, animal, and environmental health, is supported by high-income country, but seen by low and middle-income country as an additional burden without sufficient funding. Enforcement and implementation. The lack of a robust compliance mechanism and accountability in the international health regulation raises significant concern about the implementation of the pandemic agreement. What should be the way forward? Collaboration for global health security. Diplomats and leaders should recognize that working together and supporting each other benefits global health security. Technology transfer and IP waivers. Technology transfer and intellectual property waivers should be implemented to build diverse global manufacturing capabilities. This will allow the low and middle income country to achieve self-sufficiency and reduce dependency on aid from high income countries. That is what technology free transfer, so they can go for production and they will it will reduce their dependency on the developed countries. Framework for evaluating wealth and spending. The article discusses a framework for evaluating wealth and spending based on how the wealth was earned. It ranks five types of wealth creation from most to least desirable, highlighting the economic impact and fairness of each type. What is the framework for evaluating wealth? The framework for evaluating wealth consider how it has earned and how it could be spent. This framework is based on economic fairness and alignment of. Okay. The article discusses framework for evaluating wealth and spending based on how the wealth was earned. It ranked five types of wealth creation from most to least desirable, highlighting the economic impact and fairness of each type. So, what is the framework for evaluating wealth? The framework for evaluating wealth consider how it was earned and how it should be spent. This framework is based on economic fairness and the alignment of reward and efforts. Understanding the source of wealth is crucial for judging economic fairness and the health of an economy. How is wealth categorized? Wealth is ranked in five categories: talent and efforts, wealth from personal skill and hard work, like a successful retail chain or a particular jewelry designer; innovation, money made from creating something new, like an invention which benefit the society; externalities, profit that impose cost on society, like pollution from cars; monopolistic advantages, earning from industry with little competition, such as utility of large tech platforms; influence reigns, wealth gained from manipulating rules and institutions, often unfairly benefiting the wealthy. So what are the desirable and less desirable source of wealth? Wealth from talent, effort and innovation is highly desirable because it results from honest and work and creativity, benefiting both individuals and the society. Less desirable sources include wealth generated from externalities, monopolistic advantages and influence rent. These methods impose cost on society, restrict competition and manipulate rules for the profit. How does this relate to the US and the USSR? The framework highlights differences in economic system. The US system during the Cold War promoted fair competition and innovation, leading to economic growth. In contrast, the USSR struggled economically due to lack of fair competition and influence rent. The economic inefficiency contributed to USSR collapse despite its military strength. This comparison shows how a strong institutional framework and fair competition can drive economic success. Concerned with removing indexation, the article discusses Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's proposal to eliminate indexation for calculating long-term capital gains tax, replacing it with the 12.5% tax rate on gains. It explains how indexation works and its implication for different asset and taxpayers. The new proposal regarding the LGTC, that long-term capital gain tax. Okay, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has proposed removing indexation in the calculation of long-term capital gain tax. Instead, all gains should be taxed at a flat rate of 12.5%. This change is intended to simplify tax calculation for both taxpayers and the tax administration. How does indexation work? Indexation adjusts the purchase price of an asset to account for inflation, ensuring taxpayers are taxed on the real gain. For example, a house bought for 10 lakhs in 2001 sold for 70 lakhs in 2021. Cost calculation index for 21 to 317, CIF for 2100, index purchase price 10 lakhs, 307 by 100 is 31.7 lakhs. Taxable gain is 75 lakhs minus 31.7 lakhs is 43.3 lakhs. Okay, but actually that house was purchased 10 lakhs, but it was calculated 31.7 lakhs. Indexation at 20% tax rate at tax is 8.7 lakh. Without indexation, 12.5% is 8.13 lakhs. What are the concerns with removing indexation? High tax liability. Without indexation, tax liability can increase significantly. For example, selling a house for 40 lakh in 2021 without indexation, the tax of 3.75 lakhs compared to 1.66 lakh with indexation. Flat or slumping market, assets that do not grow exponentially benefit more for indexation, as seen with a bank bazaar study showing LGTC tax triple for long-term capital gain tax triple for property brought after 2010 without indexation. Short-term sales, individual benefit more by selling asset quickly rather than holding them long-term 10 years or more. Investment trust and bonds, the REIT and infrastructure funds have had lower returns may suffer, bond might become less popular. Property undervaluation, property may be sold at circle rates to reduce tax, increasing black money transaction, as warned by the APP MP Raghav Chadha. Okay, the Indian government is planning to collaborate with the private sector to study and test small modular reactors. This effort is important as nuclear energy helps bridge the gap between fossil fuel and the renewable energy technology. Nuclear power offers several benefits. It provides high reliable energy output, adds to diverse energy mix, and can help cover gap in renewable energy sources. However, nuclear power also has challenges: high cost for building safe reactors, difficulty in managing spent fuel, and frequent delay and budget overruns in the projects. What is the small reactor technical description? SMR are compact versions of conventional nuclear reactors with power output ranging from 10 megawatt to 300 megawatt. High energy content of nuclear fuel, modular design for easier assembly and scalability, smaller operational surface area, potentially low capital cost. What are the challenges in this adoption of small modular reactor? Nuclear power privatization. Privatizing nuclear power will increase the need for strict safeguards to prevent the misuse of radioactive materials. Proliferation concern. First generation small modular reactors will use low enriched uranium and be assembled on site. They are designed to manage waste with current technology and produce cost effective power. However, frequent refueling and plutonium production could raise proliferation concern on them. Cost implication. Class the cost implication for future small modular reactors, and the IAEA, the nuclear reactor, the nuclear energy regulator, global regulator of the United Nations, suggests safeguard durable reactor design, but these might raise capital cost. Future SRM could need more enriched uranium or advanced system, increasing the operational cost in the long run. High power rates, the fixed cost and the safety requirement of the nuclear reactors means SRM power rates may not be lower. The Department of Atomic Energy raised reactor capacity from 200 megawatt to 700 megawatt. The SMR success in boosting nuclear power in India will depend on their cost effectiveness, stable market condition, reliable grid, and stability to mass produce the parts. The cost of ensuring proliferation resistance. So these, if properly adapted, will definitely bring a new dimension to the nuclear power domain in India. A report on power cuts in India. As per the recent research report from the Indian Energy and Climate Center, University of California, Berkeley, the power cut in India would rise in coming 3 years. More power cuts. The report predicts that raising electricity needs in India will likely result in more evening power cuts by 2027. Inefficient renewable energy backup. India has an installed electric renewable energy source and the rest from the gas and nuclear energy. However, during heat waves, prolonged high electricity demand can extend into the night. While solar energy can meet daytime spike in demand, it cannot address nighttime demand. Inability of coal to meet demand. India's most reliable power source, coal, cannot meet this demand alone. Increase renewable energy storage. The report recommends increasing utility scale solar plants alongside battery storage. Battery storage can store. Hello. Coco. कौन है? गैरेज वाले कौन सा रंग? तुम उसको फोन करने की मैडम? जा 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 गैरेज जा गाड़ी गैरेज पता कौन की गाड़ी पता पता पैसा नहीं मैं तुम देख दे किसी को चिन्ह नहीं दे मुझे आई थी पांच साल की अस्सी से कोट का करो कि जो हो गया तो ये तो पहले से रेडी करो पूरी देख बिल्कुल नहीं हां अब कौन हो हम सारे रंग तो मेरे का चैनल है हां से आने को लगा फोन करो पूरे मिनट पे पास हो मैडम से बोलता मैडम को हम तो तेरे कमेंट कर दो गाड़ी कैसे हो ये आगे के स्क्रैच नहीं मिला अगर तुम को तो ओरिजिनल नहीं है अभी तो स्क्रैच नहीं मिला तो ओरिजिनल और दे दो लेकिन नहीं देखी को Okay, so Indian inability to coal, increase renewable energy storage. The report recommends increasing the utility scale solar plants alongside battery storage. Battery storage can store solar energy produced during the daytime for use at the night. So this can help to some extent. Liquidity coverage ratio next. The Reserve Bank of India recently issued draft guideline for banks on the liquidity coverage ratio or LCR. RBI has asked the bank to hold a higher stock of liquid security as a buffer on deposits. So liquidity coverage ratio refers to the proportion of highly liquid asset held by the financial institutions to ensure they can meet short-term obligation. The short-term obligation means maintaining the cash outflow for 30 days. It ensures bank and financial institutions have sufficient capital to handle short-term liquidity disruptions. It has originated from the Basel III agreement. So high quality liquid asset, total net cash outflow over the next 30 calendar days. These are assets that can easily and quickly converted to cash with minimal or no loss of value. These includes cash, reserves with the central bank, central government's bond. The SLR security are also part of that high liquidity asset, high quality liquid asset. Then Wingstall recently that Bombardier CRJ-200 operated by the Nepali Surya Airlines crashed near the runway at the Kathmandu Tribhuvan International Airport. One of the possible reasons for this crash is being attributed to wing stall, which put the plane in an unusual attitude, landing to the aircraft banked steeply to the right before crashing. Normal attitude includes straight and level flights, controlled climbs, and the descents. Unusual attitude refers to the aircraft's abnormal position relative to the earth horizon. Unusual attitudes include excessive nose high, steep dives, and excessive right or left rolls. An unusual attitude can lead to a stall if not corrected. About wing stall, a wing stall occurs when one wing stalls before the other. It causes the aircraft to roll into an excessive bank. A stall occurs when the wing stops generating lift. In a wing stall, one wing loses lift fast, causing the aircraft to bank excessively. The ailerons, which are the wing control surfaces, become ineffective during the wing stall. Recovery methods. The recovery from the wing stall involves pushing the nose down to reduce the angle of attack, applying a rudder position to the dropped wing, keeping ailerons neutral, and adding power. Analog of attack, the angle of attack is the angle at which the wings meet the oncoming airflow, because when the aircraft is flying, it meets with lot of airflow. It is circular for generating the lift. Fine. Then Indian mineral import surge. India's major mineral import, mostly non-critical minerals, has witnessed almost 80% rise in the value terms over the 5 years. The mineral import in value terms has risen to 68,633 crore in financial 24 from 38,604 crore in financial year 19. The major minerals imported in India are copper ore, concretes, phosphorites, manganese ore, limestone, iron ore, bauxite, asbestos, sulfur, magnesite, and the feldspar. These 10 minerals account for 97% of mineral import. Copper ore concentrate, these imports have been the highest in value term. It constitutes nearly 40% of the total major mineral import in 2024. It stood at 25,951 crore in 24, doubling from 12.146 crore over the 5 years. Phosphorite import constitutes nearly 20% of the total import in value terms. It increased to 12,649 crore. Limestone import have been highest because it is used in cement making. In volume at 33.8 lakh tons of the total, followed by phosphorites of 58.98 lakh tons or 14%. Critical minerals import include lithium, iron, and copper, total at 1394.6 crore in 24, with a volume of 82,260 tons. In the Tarang Shakti, India will host the international air exercise Tarang Shakti in 2 phases, taking place in Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan. Exercise Tarang Shakti aims to improve interoperability and foster peace among the participating air force by promoting cooperation, strategic alignment, and the exchange of knowledge and best practices among the so many of the participating countries in the around the world. The main objective is to achieve collaborative security and regional stability through enhanced cooperation. Participating nations among the countries sending contingent: Australia, France, Germany, Japan, Spain, the United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and the United States. They will participate in the Tarang exercise to be conducted in India in 2 different locations in 2 different phases, one in Tamil Nadu and one in Rajasthan. Then the Kabini Dam, incessant rain in the Kaveri catchment area have resulted in the stepping up of the outflow from the Krishnaraja Sagar and the Kabini Dam. The Kabini, also known as the Kabani or the Kapila river, is a significant tributary of the river Kaveri. It originates in the Parakamatam hills of Kerala, formed by the confluence of the Panamaram river and the Manathavulu river. The Kabini river flows eastward and joins the Kaveri river at Tirumukadulu, Narasipura in the Mysore district of Karnataka. Kabini Dam and the Kabini Dam, a masonry gravity dam, is constructed after the Kabini river near the Bichinahalli village. The backward of the Kabini Dam are located in the Karnataka. These backwards are abundant in wildlife, particularly in the summer when the water level recedes, creating lush grassy meadows. During the siege in the Kabini River hosts India's largest elephant community. Then the Maasai tribe, Tanzania is forcibly evicting tens of thousands of Maasai from their ancestral lands. The Maasai tribe are indigenous ethnic group in East Africa. They are semi-nomadic pastoralites residing in the Kenya and northern Tanzania. The Maasai are one of the most prominent African ethnic group, renowned for their distinct tradition, customs and dress, as well as their proximity to the many national game parks in the East Africa. The Maasai speaks Ma, a language derived from the Nilo-Sahara family. They also use the official language of the Tanzania and Kenya, which are Swahili and the English. Maasai culture, society is firmly patriarchal in nature. Maasai religion, the Maasai people are monotheist and their god is named the Engai or the Enkai. Coming to the question, when both Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Mahatma Gandhi were pivotal figures in India's freedom struggle, their approaches and ideology differ significantly. Critically examine the similarity and differences in their idea and method and evaluate their respective impact on the Indian independence movement. Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Mahatma Gandhi were towering figures in India's freedom struggle, each leaving an indelible mark on the movement. Tilak, known as the father of Indian unrest, and Gandhi, revered as the father of the nation, has different approaches but share two common goals of achieving independence for India. Pivotal figures in India's freedom struggle, advocacy for Swaraj and non-cooperation. Bal Gangadhar Tilak popularized the demand for Swaraj with his assertion, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it, which mobilized masses and laid the foundation for future movement. For example, his leadership during the Home Rule movement in 1916 garnered widespread support across India. Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhi's non-cooperation movement in 1920 called for the boycott of British goods and institutions, marking the first mass movement. For instance, the movement saw unprecedented participation from all sections of society, making it a nationwide struggle. Tilak promoted nationalist education by co-founding institutions like the Ferguson College and the Deccan Education Society. These institutions nurtured future leaders of the independence movement. Mahatma Gandhi campaigned against untouchability and promoted social equality, integral to his vision of the free India. For example, the Harijan Sevak Sangha, funded by Gandhi, worked towards uplifting the marginalized sections of the society. But the use of journalism to inspire nationalism, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, through his newspaper Kesari and the Maratha, Maratha in English and Kesari in Marathi, Tilak criticized the British policy and inspired nationalist sentiments. For example, his article on the plague epidemic in Pune led to his imprisonment, which increased his popularity among the masses. Mahatma Gandhi used journalism to promote his ideas and rally support for the independence movement. For example, his publication Young India played a crucial role in disseminating the philosophy and mobilizing the masses. Leadership in mass movement, Bal Gangadhar Tilak's assertive leadership and call for Swaraj galvanized the masses and set the stage for future national campaign. For example, the Home Rule movement mobilized widespread support and laid two foundations for the struggle of independence. Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhi's leadership in the non-cooperation movement turned the struggle for independence into a mass movement with participation from all sections of society. For example, the nationwide scope of non-cooperation movement marked a significant step towards complete independence. Impact on future generation, Bal Gangadhar Tilak's advocacy for education and social reform inspired future leaders and provided a blueprint for nationalist activities. For example, institutions like the Ferguson College contributed to produce influential leaders in the independence movement. Mahatma Gandhi's social reform and non-violent methods influenced future generations and set the tone for civil rights movements globally. For example, his campaign against social injustice and promotion of non-violence inspired global leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela in future. Similarity between the two common goal of independence, both Tilak and Gandhi envisioned an independent India free from the British rule. Both leaders used their platform, Tilak through his newspaper and Gandhi through his speeches, to propagate the idea of Swaraj. Engaging the masses, both leaders believe in involving the common people in the freedom struggle. For example, Tilak's Ganpati festival and Shivaji's celebration mobilized masses, similar to Gandhi's use of salt satyagraha of 1930. Focus on education. Both Tilak and Gandhi emphasized the need for education and rooted in Indian culture. Tilak's effort in founding educational institutions and Gandhi's Nai Talim promoted practical skill alongside academic knowledge. Use of religion, incorporating religious symbol. Both leaders used religion symbol to unite the people. For example, Tilak invoked Maratha pride and Hindu festival, while Gandhi used the concept of Ramarajya to appeal to the masses. Grassroots connection with the rural India. Both leaders had strong ties with the rural India and understood the importance of the rural population in the freedom struggle. For example, Tilak's campaign reached remote area, similar to Gandhi's tour across village to understand and address the rural issues. Reformist approach, social reform. Both advocated for social reforms alongside political freedom. Tilak fight against age of consent law, as he believed political freedom should precede social reform, and Gandhi's campaign against untouchability. Coming to public communication, effective communication. Both are adept at communicating their ideas to the masses. Example, Tilak's fascist speeches and editorial and Gandhi's mass prayers and speeches were instrumental in spreading the messages. Okay. Different between Tilak and Gandhi. Approach to violence. Tilak support for passive resistance. Tilak supported passive resistance but did not oppose violent outright. For example, he defended the action of the revolutionary like Khudiram Bose. Gandhi strict non-violence. Gandhi was a staunch advocate of non-violence and ahimsa. For example, he called of the non-cooperation movement after the Chauri Chora incident in Uttar Pradesh. Beyond the British rule, Tilak immediate Swaraj. Tilak demanded immediate self-rule and was more confrontational. For instance, his opposition to the moderates in Congress. Gandhi's gradual approach. Gandhi believed in negotiating with the British and achieving independence gradually. For example, his initial support for the British during the World War I in the hope of gaining concession. Economic views. Tilak's economic nationalism. Tilak promoted Swadeshi and economic self-rule. For example, his advocacy of boycotting the British goods. Gandhi's village economy. Gandhi emphasized the importance of village industry and self-sufficient communities. For example, his promotion of khadi and rural handicrafts. Social reforms. Tilak's prioritization of Swaraj. Tilak believed political freedom should precede social reforms. For example, his opposition to the Age of Consent Act. Gandhi integrated approach. Gandhi saw social reform as integral to the freedom struggle. For example, his campaign against untouchability and for the women's right. Relation to British authority. Tilak contribution starts while Gandhi has a engagement status because the letter of Paiso, the round table conference and his letters to the Viceroy. This proved that Gandhi was somehow very much interested to have some discussion with the Britishers to gain the freedom. Political alliance. Tilak's alliance with the extremists. Tilak was aligned with the extremist faction of the Congress. For example, his partnership with Lala Lajpat Rai and Bipin Chandra Pal, popularly known as Lal Bal Pal of Indian freedom struggle. Gandhi's inclusive leadership. Gandhi aimed to unify all factions within the Congress. For example, his efforts to reconcile difference between moderate and the extremist. Culture of symbolism. Tilak's emphasis on Hindu identity. Tilak often used Hindu symbols and festivities. For example, Ganpati festival, Shivaji festival, etc. Gandhi's universal appeal. Gandhi used broader cultural symbol to appeal to the Indians. For example, the spinning wheel was a symbol of self-reliance and unity as propagated by Gandhi. Impact of Bal Gangadhar Tilak on Indian independence movement. Swaraj movement. Tilak assertion that Swaraj is my birthright inspired generation of freedom fighters. For example, his leadership during the Home Rule movement energized the national movement for independence. Educational initiative. Tilak founded institutions like the Ferguson College to instill nationalistic values. For example, these institutions produced many leaders who played pivotal role in independence movement. Through his newspaper Kesari and Maratha, Tilak spread nationalist idea. For example, his writing during the plague epidemic in Pune criticized British policy, leading to his imprisonment and increased popularity. Religious and cultural mobilization. Tilak used festivals like Ganpati festival, Shivaji festival celebration to unite the people. This festival became platform for political mobilization and spreading nationalist sentiment. So Tilak's leadership in the extremist faction of Congress pushed for more aggressive action against the British rule. The Surat Spirit of 1907, which emphasized the need for a direct action and passive resistance. Impact of Mahatma Gandhi, non-violent resistance. Gandhi philosophy of non-violence became the cornerstone of freedom struggle. The success of the Salt March demonstrated the power of non-violent protest. Mass mobilization. Gandhi's ability to mobilize millions from all sections of society was unparalleled. For example, Quit India movement saw mass participation from every corner of India. Social reforms. Gandhi's campaign against untouchability aimed to integrate marginalized communities. The establishment of the Harijana Sevak Sangha to promote social equality. Economic self-reliance. Gandhi's emphasis on spinning khadi encouraged self-reliance and economic independence. The widespread adoption of khadi became a symbol of resistance against the British rule. Political leadership. Gandhi's leadership in the Indian National Congress unified various factions and directed the freedom struggle. For example, his role in the non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement galvanized the nation. Tilak and Mahatma Gandhi, despite their different approach, significantly contributed to India's freedom struggle. Tilak's assertive nationalism and Gandhi's non-violent resistance complemented each other in mobilizing the masses and challenging British rule. Their legacy continues to inspire contemporary movement for justice and self-reliance, reminding us of enduring power of dedication and leadership in the quest for freedom. Hmm. you.